Welcome to the very first episode of the Navigating My Crazy podcast. I'm Shayla, and I'm so excited to finally get this podcast started because this is something that we've been wanting to do for over 2 years. But we've created this podcast for moms as an outlet to end the stigma related to mental health, depression, and the unrealistic societal expectations related to being a mom. We also wanted to create a community so that no mom ever feels alone as we all navigate this crazy thing we call life together. Let's start this show. All right, so let's get started. The purpose of the Navigating My Crazy podcast is to create conversation about real life experiences, the highs, lows, and everything in between, the many facets of being a mother. Not your storybook or sitcom mom, like a June Cleaver or Harriet Winslow, or a Claire Huxtable or a Carol Brady, where their house is well kept, dinner's always served on time, and at the end of the day, there's some valuable lesson that's being taught. No, what we're going to do is have conversation about how having children can completely change your body. We want to talk about what happens when you move away from family and you feel alone, or when you have to start all the way back over. What do you do when your child's being bullied, or not following the norms associated with potty training and breastfeeding, or when to wean your child from a bottle? We also want to discuss things like how to teach your child with a learning disability Common Core math, because that's currently the bane of my existence. But then what about us? What about career and furthering our education and understanding our purpose, our health and fitness, and marriage, love, divorce, loss, dating, and all that encompasses? And then somehow we still have to fit in cooking, cleaning, spending quality time with our family, teaching morals to our children, and drinking enough water. I always forget to drink water. But what we're going to do is take 20 to 30 minutes on a Tuesday and just have a girl chat. We want to talk about real life issues and how we're dealing with things. But we don't just want to stop there. We really want to talk about how to excel and feel good about the things that are important to us. We want to find inspiration and talk about the lessons that we've learned so that we can encourage a mom that's lost and feeling defeated. We want to talk to moms that's kicking butt and taking names, but we also want to talk to moms that are struggling just to keep their head above water. What this does is really help us put our own lives into perspective and appreciate the things that are important to us. So I'm pretty sure you're all wondering, who am I, right? Well, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Shayla, a mom of 4, a wife, and a grandmother. And I like to describe myself as thriving with a mental illness. Weird, right? Well, that's me. But the reason why I say that is because I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder and generalized anxiety disorder. But this was after years of me trying to figure out what the heck was wrong with me. But looking back as early as I can remember, I've always experienced anxiety, mainly from growing up in a chaotic household. But it worsened as I got older. I also realized that the frequency and the symptoms of my mental illness, because it was untreated, it increased when I became a mom. I experienced postpartum that actually got a lot worse with every pregnancy. And it was to the point where I couldn't care for my youngest son, Camden, for a couple of months after I had him. Thank God I had the support of my family because I just couldn't get it together. Once I got home, I was just so overwhelmed with being a mom with 3 kids, a crap load of drama, and so many unresolved issues. But I definitely didn't know anything about postpartum prior to that, other than it being called the baby blues. And I'm pretty sure that phrase was not coined by a female, because although I'm sure those blues that compounded with my depression made my experience a whole lot worse. Secondly, I am undoubtedly an introvert. So why am I hosting a podcast, right? Well, I was in a leadership position for about 15 years. And during that period, I, of course, coached and mentored a lot of employees. I really enjoyed helping people achieve not just their professional goals, but their personal goals as well. So this led to me becoming a mentor for moms because I really enjoy, helping people achieve those goals and seeing the satisfaction that they got from it. During one of my sessions with a young lady, she started talking about some personal issues that were holding her back from some of the goals that we were working on. And she kind of stopped short, started apologizing. Well, you wouldn't understand. Your life is so perfect. You're married. You have the cutest family. I'm sure you come from a nice family that helps you whenever you need it. I can just tell by the way you light up when you talk about your kids. I realized that I was teaching and mentoring behind a mask, always reserved and cautious. I'm very quiet and I try to get to know people before I open up. I wear my perfection mask, or I wore my perfection mask like my life depended on it. That's something that I learned from my mom. No matter what hell she experienced, when she walked out the door, my mom looks flawless. I never saw her confiding in anyone or asking for help. She just got it done. I never really saw her crying or leaning on anyone in her family. I didn't see her going to her mom to ask questions, or her dad or her brothers or sisters. And believe me, she had a lot to cry about. It just made me believe that no matter what, you hold your chin up, you put your earrings on, and you handle business. I never saw her smile much, so I didn't either. I just held it all in. But I had so many questions that I never asked, and I just felt like I was drowning in this sea of never-ending thoughts and concerns, but I never had an outlet to get it out. It just seemed like everyone was happy and getting along fine. And so I just pretended that I was also. I just felt like I was constantly driving myself crazy. When you become a mom, you're supposed to know what you're doing. You're supposed to have some internal mom gene that awakens inside of you once you have kids. This is what I thought. I recall immediately after having my daughter, the nurses were cleaning her up. Just as they were preparing to hand her to me, I was in another world and I said, I don't want her, give her to her dad. And the look on everyone's faces let me know instantly that I had said something wrong, or made me feel as if I had said something wrong. I didn't mean that I didn't want my daughter. I absolutely love her. The reality was that I was just thinking about the fact that I was 19 and I'm married, and now that I had 2 children. And we were just kids ourselves. I had a 1-year-old that needed a lot of attention. He was still in diapers and drinking out of a bottle. What am I going to do when they're crying together in the middle of the night? Would I have to stop giving him all of the attention and now give it to the new baby? How would he feel about that? What about potty training and weaning, and even the thought of having a little girl that I didn't want to end up like me? This anxiety that was just wrecking my brain. I couldn't even enjoy the fact that I had just given birth to a beautiful baby girl. From those looks, guilt and shame came over me. I just started thinking about what everybody was thinking about me in that moment. So why would an introvert host a podcast? Because when I was talking to my mentee, I said to myself, how dare I pretend to be perfect and have it all together when some other mom could actually benefit from my experiences? Why be ashamed of the things that I've gone through if it could actually help another mom not feel alone, or just need someone to help them understand what they're feeling? And at that moment, I knew I had to stop keeping it all in and start sharing, start asking questions when I needed answers, start speaking up and ask for help when I needed help. Who was I benefiting from burying it all deep and not building a bridge that would actually help a mom avoid the holes that I had gotten stuck in? I realized through the mentorship there were so many other mothers, unfortunately, going through the same things that I had and had the exact same questions. I have so so many experiences and horrible decisions that I could help someone avoid. I was a teenage mother. I had my first son a month after I graduated from high school, and my daughter a year later. I was married and headed for divorce before I could even legally buy alcohol. And then after the divorce, I was a single mom who hadn't even taken care of herself before. I moved straight out of my mom's house into with my ex-husband. He paid all of the bills, he worked, and he took care of everything. Now I was homeless, without a job, and 2 small children. I found myself sleeping in my car sometimes because I was just too proud to ask for help. Thank God for my sister and my now sister-in-law and my adopted family. That's what I call my ex-husband's family, but that's a completely different show. Then there was dating with 2 small children and building trust and boundaries. I experienced the pains of learning how to co-parent and respecting each other as we did so. When I remarried, I became a stepmom to a handsome, shy little boy. And then my kids had to have a stepfather who they loved. So I know all about blended families. So I understand love, marriage, and everything in between. Trying to go to school and establish a career as my ambition grew and I wanted to become more. All the while, I was managing a mental illness. There were suicide attempts. I checked myself into a mental hospital, and there was therapy, helping me understand the why behind my mental illness, the why behind the way that I process my thoughts, process experiences. This started my journey to want to be happy and thrive and not just live anymore. I started taking steps to build a better relationship with my children. Then steps to be a better wife so that I could have a family unit and be a better example of communication, actions, and interactions for my kid. That's when I started wanting to help moms do the same and be that person that they can talk to who truly understood what they were going through. I wanted to be someone who can encourage other moms to move forward, for them to have hope because they saw someone else doing it. So that's the reason why I decided to create the Navigating My Crazy podcast. And I completely shifted gears in my career and became a certified life coach because I thoroughly enjoy helping other moms create the path to their own version of happy. Alright, moms, so this is the part of the show where we will answer questions or discuss concerns that you've sent to us. You can email those to questions with an S at navigatingmycrazy.com. We also have a form that you can submit to us on our website. So how many of you can relate to this question? I'm starting to resent my husband and quite honestly, my kids. How do I stop feeling like this? I never get a break, even when he's around. How do I get him to pitch in and get the kids to go to him when I need a break? Great question, and I totally understand this one. So first of all, I'm going to say communication. You have to have open, honest communication as a team, not when you're upset and not when you're frustrated. And then you have to set realistic expectations. So what's reasonable for both of you? What will make the world better for the both of you? Not just you, not just him. And then you have to have age-appropriate conversations with your kids and let them know what you and your husband have agreed to so that everyone understands what's going on. And then secondly, you have to set boundaries. You're going to have to redirect the kids until they feel comfortable knowing that their dad is able to take care of the things that they need. And remember, it takes at least 2 weeks to form a habit, so things will not happen instantly. You can't get mad and you can't give up when it doesn't work the first time. You're going to have to set a boundary for yourself if you're anything like me and allow him to do things his way. You can't complain and you can't try to take over. Just remember, done is better than perfect, and he will never be able to do things exactly like you do it. I remember my kids are a year apart. When they were younger, I would be cooking or cleaning, trying to do my homework, and of course, the infamous whenever you try to use the bathroom or take a bath, as soon as you close the door, You hear mommy, mommy, and yells that they need water or something, or the rumblings of a fight that's brewing in the back. And he's just watching TV contentedly, laughing at some ridiculous sitcom, like nothing's happening. And then I would blow up like a volcano. And then everyone would look like wounded puppies, and I would look like a 3-horned monster. So just remember, again, first, communication, it's key. And then you have to set boundaries and follow through. This will not only benefit you, but it'll also benefit the kids in their relationship with their father. So what do you feel about my response? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. Send me some feedback or send me some stories that you may have, just to let me know that I'm not the only one that blows up and looks like a 3-horned monster. Just remember, send any questions that you have to questions@navigatingmycrazy.com or complete the form on our website. This wraps up our very first episode of the Navigating My Crazy podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate all the support and the encouragement that I've been receiving. Our goal is to empower moms who are definitely the foundation of the family to break free from whatever it is that's holding you back from really, genuinely enjoying life and just living. We, moms, are the blueprint by which our children learn to handle emotions, decision-making, and how they take care of themselves spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. Mental wellness is important. I decided to launch the podcast on April 1st because I only have 4 days left until I turn 40 years old. And what better way to celebrate a life that I once thought had no value than to provide value for a mom that may not see her own. And another way to show my appreciation and to celebrate my birthday is to announce the winner of the Mom Sleep Hygiene Kit. We'll be doing that at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook and Instagram. So make sure you like and follow Navigating My Crazy there and Twitter also, to stay up to date on available resources and to register for our next giveaway. Make sure you subscribe on our Navigating My Crazy website. I am so excited about the shows that we have lined up and also the sponsors that are supporting the movement for moms. I'm already amped for our next Talk It Out session, so make sure you tune in. Remember, our episodes will air every Tuesday. So starting next Tuesday, April 9th, we will call it Talk It Out Tuesday. But until then, moms, let's keep moving forward as we all navigate this crazy life together. Have a great week.